Prasad. I work for this company called Vertil, and Vertil is a global leader in the data center industry. So I'll speak a little bit about what's happening in the AI deployment globally and how Vertil can help you. So this is the word everywhere now, the buzzword everywhere, AI, and I'm sure it's you're all sitting here to understand how can we do it. So a little bit about Vertil. So Vertil, globally, we power and cool the data centers. Okay, so we actually work in the most not so coolest part in the data centers to power it and cool it. So we are actually in the data center powering, cooling, the IT space management, the IT management in the data centers. That's what we are in. So Vertil has been globally organized. So we are being organized globally by Bloomberg and all the big media names in terms of our stock performance, because when we listed in 2020, Vertil as a company, we were hardly $8.5, and today we're upwards $125. So as the journey of AI is going ahead, we are also, our business is growing, and we are now like globally a $7.98 billion company. So the buzzword again, AI, speaker after speaker in the event room after event room has spoken about AI. So this is something that's going to be a big business for all of us. $1.3 trillion is what's the estimated global size of the AI market, which also means the data centers are going to look much, much hotter than what they were hitherto. So a lot of use cases of AI, mainly in the marketing automation, virtual agents, natural language processing, large language models, text analytics. So this is what the use cases of AI are, and this is a list as of September 2024, but it's changing every 6 months. And I'm sure every CIO sitting here is thinking about how can you deploy AI in your own data centers. So let me come to the crux of what we want to talk about today. So all of you will be having racks in your data centers, and these racks are currently in the range of something like 3 to 10 kilowatts per rack is what is the IT load. But this is fast changing. Okay, so this is fast changing. So what I'm trying to say here is 75% of the load in data centers right now is in the range of something like 1 kilowatt to 19 kilowatt or 20 kilowatt. So below 20 kilowatt is currently what is there in data centers. That too, if you see the bigger number, hardly around 60% of that is in the range of less than 15 kilowatt. But this is drastically changing. This is drastically changing. How many of you here have been to the Vertil stall, which is I think 206? How many of you been there? Okay, if you've not been there, just go and see that, because there what you'll actually get is a miniature model of the NVIDIA Grace Blackwell 200 NVL72. Okay, so that's what the latest is NVIDIA is. So we are an NVIDIA partner, and all the Grace Blackwell 200, which is one of the latest chip I'll talk about in a little while, is completely powered and cooled by Vertil solution design. So that what we're trying to show there in the stall is a reference miniature architecture, and that's an architecture which is 1,152 kilowatts, which is around 8 racks of IT load and 8 racks of non-IT load, which is networking and other things. But it is scalable up to 7 megawatt. So this is what's happening today in front of all of us. IT managers are dealing with this issue, because earlier IT managers used to keep the facility away, but then today it's not so anymore, because we are actually getting cooling liquid right up to the chip on the server, and it is not a friction anymore. Right now in India, Vertil has already worked with customers, and not there are the customer names, but approximately 4 megawatt of IT load is cooled with liquid cooling directly going to the chip, and approximately 2.5 megawatt all installed and working across the country in various data centers of immersion cooling, where your server is actually immersed in liquid, in non-conductive liquid. It's all reality that's happening today. So this is what the earlier, okay, so from 2017 to 2029, what they're saying is that the data center load starting from something like 2 to 8 kilowatt will go upwards up to 25 kilowatt. This is the average data center density load, average load per rack. Not all the racks will have this kind of load, but then what they're saying is because of AI, some of your racks could have between 40 kilowatt to 200 kilowatt. That is per rack. And right now, I'm working with customers, our team is working with customers, wherein per rack, the IT load is 120 kilo. 120 kilo. So that's the load per rack that we're seeing, and it is all reality. And how do you do that is what we talk about in the next few slides. So everybody knows about it. All this is happening because of CPUs are moving to GPUs, and per rack density is very, very high. And these GPUs are in terms of what is called as the thermal design power. So just to give examples of NVIDIA, the A100 was the first chip, okay, first series of GPUs. And there is B100, there is H100, and there is Blackwell B100. Each Blackwell GPU is something like 1200 watts. So it's as hot as an iron box that you can imagine. So that's the kind of thermal design power of each of this GPU. And a cluster of GPUs, super card, which I'll talk about in the next slide here. Okay, so before that, listen to him. He's Jensen Huang, the global founder and CEO of NVIDIA.
The world is transitioning from general purpose to accelerated and AI computing. Compute density and therefore power density are increasing incredibly. Every aspect, from computing, networking, and software, are all groundbreaking computer science. The data center infrastructure is also incredibly complex. The most advanced cooling and power technologies are essential. Vertiv is the world leader. We've enjoyed a great partnership with Vertiv for many years, and our collaboration is growing in leaps and bounds. As every industry and region invest in building AI factories at enormous scales, our partnership with Vertiv is more important than ever. I want to congratulate Giordano and Vertiv on an extraordinary year. This is just the beginning of great things to come as we partner to put AI in the reach of every company and industry.
Okay, so this is what is there in our store right now, miniature version of this. So this is 8 racks of IT load and 8 racks of networking and other racks. And the total in each rack is something like 12 servers. Each server has 6 number of GPUs. So total 72 GPUs in one rack. And just one rack is 132 kilowatt. So the total IT load of all of this is put together is something like 1.15 megawatt. And for that, this is the NVIDIA reference design, which was unveiled by Jensen Huang, who just spoke right now, in the March 2024 Global Technology Conference. And Vertiv is a partner with NVIDIA, and each of the NVIDIA Grace Blackwell reference design for the GB200, goes with what is called the NVL72 reference architecture, is 130 kilowatt per rack, and total is 1.15 megawatt, scalable up to 7 megawatt, and each one of the reference design goes with what is called a CDU. So it's called an XDU 1.35 megawatt coolant distribution unit, which will actually cool the liquid that's going to the server. It gets heated again at the chip and again gets cooled. This is a Vertiv CDU. And the standard reference design for every Blackwell installation which is being rolled out right now. So again, it's not just about cooling alone. So when the loads in data center become something like upwards of 100 kilowatt per rack, you also need to power them. So Vertiv has got a complete portfolio, from switchgear to 800 amps bus bar, and there are a lot of other challenges. Simple thing is, this rack right now, earlier was something like 1400 kilograms per rack was what kind of static loading capacity. But now rack heights are going up from 42 to something like upwards of 50 U's and 60 U's. The height of the rack is going up, as also the weight carrying capacity. So these racks are right now 2000 kg plus in terms of the weight carrying capacity. So Vertiv has got a complete portfolio, starting from switchgear to bus bar, to the uninterrupted power solution, to the rack PDU that goes into the rack, complete cooling solutions, whether it is air cooling or liquid cooling. So air cooling, the networking kind of racks will not take liquid cooling. So for that we have air cooling, and for the liquid cooling it's for the server racks. So to know more about this, we're actually trying to do a kind of a master class across the country, this online as well as the physical classes. So please go to a stall in booth number 206 and register for this master class, and we will teach you, along with the AI deployment, what are the things that you need to take care when it comes to power, cooling, and IT management. Okay, so So there are low density racks. So right now we are operating in this region up to 10 kilowatt, but rack densities are going higher by the day, from 10 kilowatt to medium density 25 kilowatt to 80 kilowatt and upwards of 100 kilowatt. So it's actually happening right now. I'm doing projects right now. And we've got a complete cooling solution, starting from air cooling to liquid cooling. So what I talked about is direct to chip liquid cooling, immersion cooling, that is the liquid cooling part of it, and these are all the air cooling part of it. So in a typical deployment, there would be a hybrid solution of both air and liquid cooling, and we are leaders in that technology for both air and liquid cooling. So this is again a little bit about multiple cooling technologies. It's not just what do you do with an existing data center that I already have, or how do I retrofit it? So we have got solutions for that. So we'll help you retrofit an existing data center from a low kilowatt per rack, an average of 10 kilowatt per rack, to a high of 25 kilowatt per rack, which is the average again. There would be instances where one or two racks would be having upwards of 100 kilowatt per rack, but Vertiv can help you in the deployment, taking you from the low density to the density which is high density, upwards of 100 kilowatt. So again, a complete chiller range we have, which is about cooling the liquid and then recirculating it. So that's what this is about. So it's not just about cooling alone. I also talked about power, okay? Because it's very important that when the power density in the data center is now increased. So you've got a complete switch gear and very high amperage bus bar solutions, which will help you to, and some of the very, very global companies like Google and Microsoft and all that, they've all kind of standardized on some of these power solutions and bus bar solutions from Vertiv. So it's not just being, we need to have good kind of plumbing technology, because it's all about liquid that is going right to the chip on your server. So we have got all the expertise for that. So it's not just cooling alone, it's a complete solution, complete power solution, and it's cooling, power and IT management. So Vertiv has got a complete portfolio which can help you deploy hyper-converged data center in a box, which means you just have to, it's a completely prefabricated box with cooling, power, IT management solutions, complete unified dashboard of both your IT facility and IT and your facility all on one single screen. A little bit about Vertiv before I end this. So Vertiv is global leader, $7.8 billion or so global turnover. But talking specifically about India, we've got 41 branches in India. We've got around 2,000 employees in India. And our biggest thing, if I tell you, is we are in this country for around 40 years right now. Our new name is Vertiv for the last 8 years, but we have been as Emerson and Liebert for the last 40 years in this country, and we have a very large service workforce. So service engineers somewhere here we've written, maybe we've got around 1,500 service engineers across the country. Because this is about life cycle management. When we sell a solution to you, it is going to be in a customer cycle, something like 15 years, 10 years life cycle. So we help you manage a complete life cycle. So that's it. That is my last slide. Thank you very much. And I have my colleague Srihan.